Hello everybody, my name is Emer O'Neill from Tidal Soul Studio and welcome to my 3-day series called Creative Wellness During a Pandemic. And actually now that I'm saying that out loud for the first time, I realise how insane that sounds. But anyway, welcome to day one. Today we are going to be attempting to work some of that frustration and anxiety and any kind of negative emotions that you're feeling, trying to move that energy out of the body and onto the page. So we're going to be working a little bit bigger today than usual, and for that reason I'm actually working on the floor today. Well, there's that, and also my studio is overrun with school books at the moment, so I will work with what I have. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you want to pause this video first and grab yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea, please do so. And when you're ready, we can dive back in.
Begin by finding yourself a nice, comfortable position. Whether you're sitting at your kitchen table, or if you have a studio, or maybe you're sitting on the ground like me. Find a comfy cushion for under your knees. So in the suggested materials for today's session, I suggested either a large white sheet of paper or else a length of greaseproof paper would do. Now I know a lot of my viewers today might be new to me and maybe they're not used to being creative regularly and maybe they don't have all of the materials that I suggested. So for that reason I decided to use greaseproof paper myself. Now it's important that if you are using this to use the back of it, so the inside matte part of the greaseproof paper. If you use the outside shiny part, this won't work for you at all. And I couldn't find my masking tape, so I used sellotape then to tape it down to the floor. And this is just to stop it from wiggling around as you're getting all your pent-up aggression onto the page. And then when you're ready, grab your candle and light it. And as you light it, set the intention for yourself. What is it that you want to gain from today's session? I always light a candle when I'm sitting down to create anything, because for me it's an anchor. It really sets the tone and sets the space. It helps me to get into the flow of creativity. And then when you're finished that, you can grab your journal and your pen and just a few short lines about how you're feeling right now in this moment. And there's no need to censor this because nobody is going to see it. This is just for you. So just describe how you're feeling right now in this moment. Really have a think about it. Maybe you're feeling a little bit low, or you might be feeling stressed or frustrated or anxious. Perhaps you're even anxious about how today's session is going to go. And I know that there is no need for you to carry that burden on yourself, that pressure that you might be putting on yourself. But if that's what you're feeling, then write that down. And also write about where it is that you can feel it in your body and how does it feel? How is it showing up in your body? Journaling is a lovely way to gain insights and clarity into how we're actually feeling. Quite often our feelings go unnoticed by us if it's something that's been creeping up slowly or we're used to feeling in our body. So before I begin any creative project, I always begin by grounding myself with a few deep breaths, and I invite you to do the same with me now. I put one hand on my heart and one hand on my belly and take a few deep, slow breaths and really anchor myself into this present moment. I commit myself to this creative exercise and to the intention that I set for myself at the beginning. And this means no thinking about what happened earlier today or no worrying about what's going to happen afterwards. I'm just fully in this space, in this here and now. So I set out my materials around me so that they are easy access. And whatever materials you have to work with today, know that that is absolutely perfect. To get worried about what you have or what you don't have, as long as you're showing up for this practice and you've got something to work with, then that is absolutely fine. Usually the most difficult mark that you're going to put on your page is the first one. There's always that fear of the blank page. It can be quite intimidating and a little overwhelming. So I recommend that you just dive in without a second thought. This isn't going to be a planned artwork. There's no composition going on here. This is purely mark making. So you can rid yourself of any pressure that you have on yourself to create a masterpiece. None of us are going to create a masterpiece today. This is purely about the process. So as I'm creating here, I'm thinking about what I journaled about earlier. So about the feelings and how I could feel them in my body. And every mark that I'm putting down on the page is just trying to represent those feelings in some way. I'm not creating pictures, I'm just making marks. And if you like, you can also add in words too. There is no wrong way to do this. To be honest, whatever mark making you make, whatever words you put down, that is absolutely perfect for you. And it doesn't matter if you don't know what colour or what symbol or what mark making should capture the essence of a particular emotion. That really does not matter. Just go with whatever you feel drawn to. Use your intuition. And as you work into your page in a way that feels right for you, just imagine that emotion that you journaled about earlier. Imagine that flowing out through your arm, out through your hand, and onto the page. This is like really creating magic here. You know, you're shifting that energy, you're lightening the load from within you and just setting it free, letting it loose out onto the page. And if you're feeling particularly strong feelings of frustration or stress, don't be afraid to really work into the page, you know, really get that feeling out onto the page, even if it means standing up over it and really giving it some wellied, you know, don't be afraid to work it. That's what we're doing here. We're just letting it loose. So whatever way that looks to you, you know, maybe you're happy enough to do gentle mark making, or maybe you do feel you need to put that extra effort in. Whatever feels right for you, it's perfect. And when you feel that you've worked your emotions into the page, it's absolutely fine to let your mind wander and just let the rest of it flow intuitively. I certainly noticed myself that as I worked through whatever I was feeling, my mark making and my colours and my movements began to slow down and soften. And if you feel that you need to work out that tension right up to the end, then that's absolutely fine for you. You know what you need in this moment. But personally, I always find that I like to get the hard stuff out first and then allow the creativity and the intuition to just flow more gently, and I end up on a higher note. I find that always works really well for me, because then I come away at the end feeling lighter and really feeling like I've shifted some of that negative energy out of my body and onto the page. And with therapeutic creative exercises like this, you really need to leave your pride at the door. You know, you need to keep your ego in check, because no one's asking you to create a masterpiece here. You know, any ideas that you might have of ending up with a finished piece, you know, forget about them. This is creative play. I want you to play a way a child would play in their sketchbooks or in their colouring books. You know, this isn't about beautiful artwork. This is purely process driven and not at all about the results. And I know that until you get used to working in this way, it can feel a little bit silly and you might feel like a little bit of an idiot. But I invite you and I urge you to release that feeling, because once you start working in this way, and it doesn't have to be this way every time, but every now and again, if you do a process like this, you will see the benefits, you will feel the benefits afterwards. Once you work that energy out onto the page, you will feel lighter afterwards, even if just a little bit. So for now, I'm just going to ask you to trust in me and trust in the process, and you can feel the benefits later on. So I'm going to stop chatting for a while and I'm going to let you work away and see how you get on. Just let your creativity flow without any judgment or pressure from yourself. Just have fun with it, and I will chat to you again at the end of the video. Giving yourself permission to take this time for yourself and prioritize your needs and your creativity. It's a really, really beautiful way to show your self-love and self-care. All too often the to-do list gets in the way and we end up prioritizing other people's needs over our own. But it isn't just ideal, it's actually essential to take time for yourself and to focus on your needs. Put yourself first every now and then. So I would recommend that you schedule a session like this for yourself, maybe a couple of times a week or every week or whatever you can manage, and just enjoy the playtime. Like I said before, rid yourself of any pressure, of any judgment. Just prepare to make a mess and, enjoy the process. So when you are finished your piece, I would recommend that you grab your journal and your pen again and write another few short lines underneath what you wrote earlier. And this time describe how you feel now. And hopefully you will feel some kind of difference in your body. Thank you so much for showing up today to watch this video, for showing up for yourself more importantly and your creativity. I'm really happy that you did. Not everybody does that, so you're already winning. Thank you again for watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed this playtime together. I'll see you again tomorrow for day 2. Bye-bye.